Alright, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a lovely day, a lovely night wherever you're from. And real quick, before we get started, as always, I want to give a lovely shout out to the channel members on this channel. So thank you so much to these lovely commanders here that you see on screen. Thank you guys so much for your guys' constant generosity and support to me as always. It really means a lot to me, so thank you guys so much. And if you guys are actually interested in becoming a lovely commander yourself, if you are interested in any of these cute and lovely emotes, loyalty crown badges, you want a special role in the Discord, make sure to join the Discord. But as always, if you choose to do so, thank you so much. Just remember, that's not the only way that you can support me. Just watching the content like you are right now is truly the best way. Liking, subscribing, and commenting, everything really does help, so thank you guys so much. And for today's video, before we get done with Season 0 and we get on to Season 1 and Yuki's banner, I do want to give a quick just overview of Haru, give my final thoughts on her, and just quick overview of how she is and how I feel about her, how I utilize her with my own personal deck and build for teams, and just talk about what you could be using as well. Massive shout out to Smilegate for making this a paid promotion video by sponsoring it. So massive shout out to you guys, thank you. That being said, just to be transparent, they don't get a say in what I say, so I can say whatever I want. Opinions are of my own, so I can be negative and positive as well, just to be clear. But timestamps for wherever you want to go down below as always, so let's get started. And honestly, real quick, just a quick overview for a lot of people, because so many Haru builds have already been announced, so many other creators have talked about it. But I just want to give a quick preface about her, just to give an idea, is that with her cards, there are a few ways that you can utilize her. Now, you can either go the anchor shot route and just constantly focus on single enemies and just start building more and more damage. Or, I've seen a lot of people do this too because they crave AoE. They can focus on power charge, which also has some single target, but also is AoE as well. So you can go both ways. Unfortunately, the way my build was isn't necessarily AoE, but still, it's a fantastic thing, so when I get to utilize the AoE properly, it's fun, so I can see people doing great builds with it. But what I wanted to talk about is cards that you should be getting rid of, if you can. Sometimes save data can be really rough, and you might still see it even after you get rid of it, unfortunately. Because your number one priority to get rid of here is Anchor Drop. You do not care about this 120% shield, it's going to crowd your deck, you don't want to deal with it. After that, honestly, you could be getting rid of Anchor, because it doesn't really matter. Like, it's good that you do get the 10% damage added onto Anchor Shot. Same thing with Power Anchor, but I feel like your main priorities here are going to be Anchor Shot and Power Charge. But for replicating cards, either Power Charge if you're focusing on AoE so you can see this card more, or you can do both and you can do Anchor Pointer. Anchor Pointer to me is the biggest priority for me, because what this does is that even if it's in your draw pile or in the graveyard, no matter what, it's going to give you an Anchor Shot card, which is important. So you want to see this card more often so you can get Anchor Shot. This is, to me, the biggest priority as well. And when we're talking about partners with her, for me, I still think that Asteria, her Rada partner, is the best that she can get. The reason is because when she has a cost card of 2 or more, Asteria is going to add 25% damage to it and 10% damage on the assigned command's Pulverize cards. Pulverize being like Anchor Shot, which is when if they have shields, it's going to deal more damage. As you can see right here, if you click on it, Pulverize when hitting a target with shield, plus 20% damage. So you get added on even more with Asteria. Now, here's the thing though, if you do not have Asteria, you're perfectly fine, because another character that does buff cards that are 2 or more is Ritochka. The assigned command's attack card with cost of 2 or more deal 10% damage. Now, it's not a lot. Obviously, you get way more out of Asteria, but still, that's at least somebody that you can utilize that is free. And I feel like that's fair game. But teams-wise, it's interesting because when they first showed off Haru in like a dev video, they gave a few ways that you can actually make teams out of. There was a team that you could do with Cassius because of the way that you're constantly using draw cards. You can try to utilize her that way. I've never experienced that way. Unfortunately, I do not have Cassius, and Cassius seems like a fun character. But I've also seen people do Leap with Mika, and one reason for that is, one, she's also like an AoE type character and has some AoE cards, so you could do some fun stuff with the Power Charge card. But due to the nature of Vulture Ejection for Khalip, if you use a cost card of 2 or more, you're going to trigger Vulture Ejection. So if you're using Power Charge or Anchor Shot, you're going to be triggering that Vulture Ejection. So you're going to be doing constant combo cards, which is fantastic rotation if you have enough AP. That's why you'd be using Mika. But here's a team that they also recommended that I fell in love with, and that was the Mika Barrel Haru comp. This comp is very overpowered, and why is it overpowered? Well, Haru is a very hungry character because you'll be dealing with 2 or 3 cost cards depending if you decide to upgrade with Lift Anchor to get that level 3. But if you have Mika, you're going to be able to get more out of her because of the constant use of Source of Water for AP, especially if you get Epiphany spots to make Source of Water even better. That's a plus. Here's the thing that a lot of people, I feel like, sleep on it. I've seen some great content creators cover this, but Barrel is such a good partner because of this card right here, Guilty Pleasure. You draw 3. That's goated because not only are you going to be able to draw cards, but if you're pairing her with Mika, you're going to have the AP to utilize those cards to see if you could get Anchor Shot or Anchor Pointer. So that's fantastic. Now, I want to quickly talk about my build and how I'm utilizing it. So for me, as you can see, in terms of my builds, I have 2 Anchor Shot and 2 Anchor Pointer. Unfortunately, I kind of got screwed and I could not duplicate another power charge. And unfortunately, I guess the way that the save data works, I got my Anchor drop back, so that's unfortunately a part of my deck. So it's not perfect. Here's the thing with Anchor Pointer. This card I duplicated has an Epiphany. Now, the only difference is that it provides Anchor Shot, Retain. So if I don't even have enough points for it, it's going to stay in my hand even if I go to the next turn. That's really important. And my Anchor Shot, even better, because here's the thing, it might not seem as special because even though it's 352% of the damage plus 90%, which is nice, but what they added on is that one random ally performs coordinated attack to the target. So if I'm building up shots on a boss and that boss is almost dead, they'll be finished off because of that coordinated attack. So that's been really useful. But to constantly get this AP going for this type of build for Haru, I'm taking advantage of Mika because the way my build works is that I have Gear Bag, which I get a draw 2 for free, but my Source of Water is duplicated, and although it's Exhaust, I get 3 AP. So if I'm dealing with Barrel, who I duplicated Guilty Pleasure, but one of my Guilty Pleasures are goated, and I get 1 AP, it lowers the cost of 1 random card, and I draw 3. We're doing a lot of rotation here with my cards. Like, this is a constant flow of cards, Anchor Shot going off. It's fantastic. I highly recommend for a lot of people who are trying to figure out a way to utilize Haru or try to have enough AP or card rotations is to try to utilize this team because I think it's a fantastic team. I want to talk back about Haru for a second because I want to talk about her memory fragments. Because to me, I feel like there's only one clear-cut winner here, and that's her Line of Justice set. The reason why is because you get this 4 set where it's 20% critical chance of cards that cost 2 or more. That's perfect for Power Charge or even her Anchor Shot. So that's great, but you need to be careful because there are some Epiphanies where it'll lower the cost of that card. That won't work anymore with this, so you might brick it with that deck if you're not careful. So do be careful, and honestly, getting more crit is fantastic because if you're using upgrade cards for Haru, you're using Asteria's Ego, and then you decide to use an Anchor Shot and you get that crit, you could be doing in the thousands. It's so good. And getting some good ass gear like this one is great. If you could get some flat attack, a lot of crit, damage over time, you'll be doing numbers. That's fantastic. That's what you want to see. There is something really important though that I don't want to like glaze over, and that's her potentials, because there are some really important ones that a lot of people need to focus on. Now, despite some of these really good ones at the very top that you can slowly do over time, one of the biggest priorities in my opinion is not really this neutral card one, because to me it's like whatever, but getting this basic card proficiency, Anchor plus 20% of damage of power Anchor cards. The card effect gains an additional effect that increases the damage of Anchor Shot cards by 10%. This one is really good to try to maximize her damage even more, so make sure you do that. Try to get through upgrading this unique cards as well, because that's going to help her as well, and obviously getting more crit chance when you can be great. So I need to farm this a bit more. As always, so much to do, so much little time, but honestly, overall, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I know everyone's playing a bit differently, getting excited. I do want to know how you guys are feeling going into the upcoming season 1, so do let me know. that being said, that is going to be it for me. So do let me know how you've been feeling about Haru. How are you utilizing her? As always, I'm really excited. Cannot wait for Yuki. Are you going to be pulling? Are you going to be saving? Let me know. But that is going to be it for me. So I hope you guys have a lovely day, lovely night wherever you're from. And as always, thank you so much for the constant support. Take care and have a good one.